and it's Uncle Makara, all relations. Let's get started today with today's video. We're speaking about this guy over here, Padmasambhava Guru Rinpoche. Okay, a very, very powerful trailblazer, a leader. And I really respect his teachings because they're so powerful, they're so next level. And he's taught us on our path working a lot of different things through myself channeling his energy, his intentions, and me having more of a personal relationship with him. And I'm going to be reading from this book. It's by Mark L. Prophet and Elizabeth Clare Prophet. Okay, it's called Masters in the Retreats. And I'm just going to go through some of my epiphanies today. Okay, let me just share this with people. Hold on. Share. All right, cool. So this is what I had discovered or understood through a few days, okay? Number one, all moments are already created, okay? All moments are already created. You just have to tune into the moment. You just have to tune into the consciousness of what you want, okay? So if you want wealth, you need to tune into wealth consciousness. If you want love, you need to tune into love consciousness. Think of it like your radio transmitter, right? A frequency, and you're just tuning into the radio station for the right kind of frequency for you to lead it, right? Throughout the day. Second thing that I discovered is the flow state is about building wealth, prosperity, and abundance. And it's without stressing about it or needing it to happen, right? And that's easier said than done, but really start to understand that once you really take action without the attachment towards the outcome, you gain this momentum, this flow, okay? Next is, just this morning I was closing my eyes and just basking in the wish fulfilled, and I really started to understand that can I soak in this feeling more than the time that I think I can, right? So if I think it's only like 5 minutes that I can focus on a task, then let me do 6 minutes, right? So you have to beat your high score in a sense to be able to unpack this. So if you need something, if you have a desire, let's say you close your eyes, you imagine you have that desire already. Can you linger in that feeling? Can you bask in that feeling? Or does that neediness kind of fade away? Does that craving or desire, does it just disappear? Or does it still stay the same, right, over time? Next thing is health, increasing beauty, okay? We focus on so much on cosmetics and this, products and all these different types of things, but really it's about health, right? When we're being healthy, then we're tapping into that fertility, that essence of attraction, that charisma, being alive, right? Being alive, being in this alive presence, okay? Instead of this dead zombie-like state, which a lot of people are unfortunately in on the planet right now. And when you think that you're winning in life, you're being something. When you think when you're losing in life, you think that you're being something. You get what I mean? So the winners just take action, right? They're not thinking about taking action. They're not, writing it all down until they finally get all the pieces together and then they act. It's like it's a natural byproduct of you just showing up, right? Then the next one is the guy who stays at home. I just wrote all these down. Guy who stays at home is not a very good video game to play, right? So that's one that I've been telling myself to really start expanding, socializing, going out, different venues, things like this, okay? Next is sometimes you can't even understand what your old patterns were, and you might be like, oh, I'm up in the middle of the night, or every time at 5 p.m. I feel like a dip in my energy, or different things like this happening in your life. There could be very subconscious reasons for that, okay? There could be very subconscious reasons for that. Until you unpack it, you can't really know what that is or what's going on, okay? Anyway, let's get started with the video, okay? I'm gonna go through these notes, take it with a grain of salt, understand it. Let's try to break down this energy, this power that we can all access and understand, okay? Which is this man right here, Guru Vajra, as I like to call him, King Vajra, as I like to call him. And he is the Lotus-born master. So let's get started, man. Okay. So Padmasambhava, he's a great guru of Tibetan Buddhism. He's known as the precious guru. You know, his followers venerate him as the second Buddha. And his name means lotus-born one. Padmasambhava means born from a lotus, okay? So think about the purity with which what he represents. If you're born from a flower, it means that you're here to bloom or either crystallize some level of a teaching, right? Just as the Buddha gave us a seminar once where, you know, only Bodhidharma understood it, where he, you know, showed a flower. It was one of his teachings, the silent teaching, right? So there's something here, okay? Now, he was a scholar at the most famous monastic university in Nalanda, India, in like 8th century AD. And he was renowned for his mystical powers, okay? He had a very deep understanding of the occult sciences, and especially for his application of dharani, which is another way of saying mystical sentences, okay? So the words, his syntax, would start to form the world around him, okay? He's also a great command of worldly knowledge from language and fine arts, earth sciences, architecture, etc. Okay? The Tibetan king Trisong Detsen, okay, in 750 AD, what he did is he invited Padmasambhava to come to Tibet, and there he helped establish Buddhism by overcoming the forces of the entrenched Bon religion. So they had a religion called Bon, which was basically all about, more mystical, right? About understanding deity, relationship, deity worship, and just a lot of ritual objects, you know, very mystical tradition, okay, the Bon religion. So understand that. The great monastery of Samye, located outside of Lhasa. And he oversaw the completion of a monumental monastery with a complex temple designed in the form of a mandala. He also created the first community of Tibetan Buddhist monks in Samye. And he brought a great age of enlightenment to Tibet. Under his direction, right, he was going to spread the Buddhist scriptures and the text throughout the lands, okay, throughout the country. In addition, he traveled throughout Tibet, to converting many paths to the path of the Buddha, revealing the mantra teachings of Vajrayana. Okay, Vajrayana is the diamond vehicle, or the lightning vehicle. It's one of the quickest ways, most swiftest paths towards enlightenment, which is why I'm so fascinated by this journey that I'm a part of. Shout out to Adish Dipankar Dhan Kendra over here in Kolkata, India, where I'm activated with these teachings, and my father is associated with the Kadampa lineage and the new modern day Kadampa disciples of Vajrayana. So shout out Jason Kappa as well, my root guru, okay? Next, we have one of the central practices of empowerment of a disciple by his guru through certain rituals, practices, mantras, you know. He instructed the king and people for 21 days in the inner and outer teachings. He taught them principles of law, farming, government, and even had them pursue the path of Buddhahood. Now, this is very interesting, guys. So a few days ago, we had a channeling of Sobek, right, the Egyptian fertility god. And on one of them, he was talking about this kind of winged, like a winged moose for Mathis, right? And in the middle, he also experienced this kind of winged horse. And I kept getting this winged horse imagery. Now, I do know that what's very interesting is that the people who live in Vegas in IMC Nation, they also, their street name is Pegasus, okay? Which is very interesting. Now, this is also very, very interesting because it says here, legend says, that with this accomplished, he mounted a magnificent winged horse, okay? He mounted a magnificent winged horse and surrounded by rainbow light, rose upward into the heavens. According to tradition, he now resides in his paradise, his pure land, on a copper-colored mountain. So that's where he's chilling, okay? That's amazing. So he initiated an inner circle of 25 disciples. Okay, maybe that's how many adepts we'll have. I don't know. Who knows? In Primal Sutra, who became adepts and transmitters of the teachings. Because the Tibetan people were not yet ready to receive the essence of Padmasambhava's highest teachings, the master and his disciples presented them in an abbreviated or codified form that can only be deciphered by those who had been properly prepared. Okay, really important here. These scriptures are called termas. So termas actually translates to treasures. These are like hidden codes, right, that you have to unlock. And his disciples concealed the termas where they would be safe for the time to be revealed. So he predicted that his 25 disciples would re-embody as turtons, or revealers of treasure. Now turtons are almost like, you know how we say downloads, right? Like in the spiritual communities, we use the word downloads to describe like we're getting this huge epiphany or this huge blast of information from the divine. Sort of like that, right? So these are these turtons to discover and interpret these esoteric teachings. Okay, so his followers, his 25 disciples, are going to get these turtons. Okay, as far as we know. So, according to other traditions, the turtons are incarnations of Padmasambhava himself. Okay, these are him reincarnated through the 25 disciples, who still spread the doctrine of the lineage. Now, Tibetan Buddhisms believe that starting in the 11th century and continuing, turtons began to recover and expound upon these termas. Some of these termas that were discovered contain prophecies made by Padmasambhava concerning the future of Tibet. Prophecies we have seen to come pass in our lifetime. These include the Chinese communist invasion of Tibet, the destruction of monasteries. Wow, he actually predicted all of these things, right? The desecration of sacred scriptures, statues and paintings, degradation of monks, slaying of the Tibetan people, you know, raping of the nuns and so forth, right? He predicted all of that it was going to happen. And he bestowed upon the messenger Elizabeth Clare Prophet the mantle of a guru. He named her Guru Ma, who was a devotee of the Divine Mother. And there is no greater love than the love shared between a guru and his chela. I'm gonna just skip some of this. Around the successive teacher. With the transfer of the mantle from master to disciple comes the transfer of responsibility. Okay, I think this is really, really key here. The disciple pledges to carry on the mission of his master. In order for the work of the Great White Brotherhood to continue, okay, on earth, some of the embodiment must wear the mantle of guru. Today, there are true few gurus sponsored by the Great White Brotherhood, which is the hierarchy of the ruby ray, okay, according to this model. And the chain of hierarchy of the lineage is Sanat Kumara, the ancient days, Gautama Buddha, Lord Maitreya, Jesus Christ, and Padmasambhava. Okay, this is the lineage. Okay, and for centuries, devotees of Padmasambhava have received blessings by invoking one of my favorite mantras ever. I'm going to share this mantra with you, okay, which is Om Ahum Vajra Guru Padma Siddhi Hum. Now that's the Sanskrit version. I found that the Pali Tibetan version hits stronger, okay? And the way you'd pronounce that is Om, instead of the H-U-M, Hum, you say Hung, okay? H-U-N-G, Hung. So Om Ahum Vajra Guru. And instead of Padma, you say Pema, okay? Pema Siddhi Hum. So you go Om Ahum Vajra Guru Pema Siddhi Hum. Om Ahum Vajra Guru Padma Siddhi Hum. Om Ahum Vajra Guru Padma Siddhi Hum. Right, that Hum, that adds more of an effect to it, right? And it's said, let me tell you why you would say this mantra, okay? This is really, really powerful. Apparently, if you say it a number of times, you tap into his code as well. But it basically means Padmasambhava, who arose from a lotus, please grant me the ordinary and supreme accomplishments, okay? Give me the siddhis, okay? What's up, Ryan G? I'm just talking about this book, right? Going through some stuff about Padmasambhava. And here it says his mantra is there to grant you ordinary and supreme accomplishments, okay? AKA siddhis, or supernatural spiritual powers. Okay, so a Vajra guru is a being who has fully mastered the path of Vajrayana. Okay, now Padmasambhava also had a consort, his disciple Yeshe Soga, that was his mantra would be used to avert the evils of a coming period of darkness. So this is like a mantra used to facilitate the evils of the planet, guys, is to cause the harmony of positivity, equilibrium back, right? The actual balance of it. And his devotees have invoked this mantra to create peace and harmony and to antidote the confusion and turmoil of this dark age, okay, this Kali Yuga, or this dark era that we're living in. It's a mantra for the era in which we live, in a planetary return of karma, okay? Now, Lord Maitreya, who's said to be the future Buddha, has urged us to let Padmasambhava's mantra ring in our soul and heart. Give the mantra of Padmasambhava 33 times and celebrate, well, 33 is a master builder number, right? And celebrate your soul's ascent each day to the chamber of your heart, to the altar of your being. Life is empty when you do not do this, okay? When you do not do it, you do not even just know how empty your life is, and you do not know how full it can be when you enter into the practice of keeping your appointment with Maitreya, the future Buddha, okay? He says, give it 33 times, beloved ones. So, if we are really the holy ones, should we do this mantra daily? I'm down to do it daily. What about the adepts, okay? Quite easy. We can just put it on a loop 33 times. We can say it on our phone 33 times and just play it before sleep, play it in the morning, something like that. Make it easy for us, okay? And the Ascended Master told us that he was sent by Buddha to be the incarnation of the Buddha, so that all beings might have hope of becoming that Buddha. He said in this following footsteps, we could be the open door to souls becoming the Buddha within, okay? So he'd warned those that wanted to choose to walk the path of the Buddha will face great challenges, right? However, he gave this key to retaining the Buddhic light, okay? He said, keep on loving in the face of the most intense anger, hatred, pride, passion, ambition, fear, death, and darkness, protected against the alignment of your being with the Buddhas of the light. Remember, do not identify with this counterfeit stream of the darkened ones. Their stream is this anger and all the perversions that I've named. These are the energies that you will tame in my name, okay? These are the energies that will pass through your chakras without resistance from yourself. And in passing through, they will become, by the alchemy of transmutation, the great river of life that you can claim as your own. Okay? The great river of life that you claim as your own. You know how in the Bible you talk about living water as well, right? So very powerful. Hey, this is in the Jesus Christ lineage. Now we know this, okay? The hierarchy is in the Ruby Ray. We get it. Sanat Kumara, who I'm also connected with, including his higher self, Iwamus, Gautam Buddha, Lord Maitreya, future Buddha, Jesus Christ, and Padmasambhava, okay? And by the way, a mantle is a symbol of authority, like a preeminence or a spiritual office, right? A kind of great sphere of light. So, yeah, that's just what a mantle is. So, back to the basics, okay? He says, remember why you are here, why you were born, and the mercies that God has extended to you. Opportunity, beloved, may knock and knock every day of your life, but when you're out of embodiment, you will sense the marking of time and the transpiring of long eons, some on the astral plane, some on the etheric plane, before you shall be able to return for such opportunity as you have today. He said that he desired to tutor us for two reasons. One, so that we could unite with God at the end of our lives in the ritual of the ascension, so that we might bear light and freely give light to rescue other souls. All are capable of this, and the question is, do you have the will? Is this your highest choice? Is this the definition of purpose in your life? Padmasambhava said, one of the biggest obstacles to developing our soul potential is learning to make peace with God and with other people. If you find this difficult, he said, consider that you may have a malady of the soul. Okay? Hey, there's a lot of, Buddhists and people who don't believe in God. They're atheists, right? Like, who's that guy? Or modern day atheists, right? Who still practice the Buddhist teachings and meditation, but they don't necessarily believe in God, right? But he says, consider that you have a malady of the soul, and this malady can become a cancer of the soul, eating away at the very essence of your soul identity. Recognizing when the soul is sick, and consult the doctor, Lord Gautam Buddha and other Buddhas. Please recognize the illness of the soul. It is the most dangerous illness of all. It is when you begin to have a warped view of life and others that you imagine they have opinions of you that they do not. And you begin to torment yourself with bitterness towards life, toward God. Okay? Have you ever had it where you've been forced, life has just crushed you down and you've just been like, fuck the divine, right? Have you ever had that moment in your life, okay, where you felt like just rejecting all of the spirituality? Okay, this is what he's talking about. People create a bitterness towards these understandings. Oh yes, beloved, all of these emotional and mental attitudes are just the beginning of the decay of the body itself. In order to develop our soul potential, he said, we must go beyond rancor. Okay? What does rancor mean? Hold on, let me look this up. So we learn along the process, okay? Hey! You know what's so interesting? I typed in rancor and Krishna came up. Whenever God takes birth and walks on this planet, almost everyone is oblivious of their existence. Most people ignore them. Rancor. Interesting. Go beyond rancor. What vast opportunity is cast aside when anger, hold on, it's not with an H. Let me spell it this way. Is bitterness and resentfulness. Okay, I get it. So you have to go beyond resenting others, okay? You have to forgive them. What vast opportunity is cast aside when anger is not conquered, when resentment is not transmuted into forgiveness and love and gratitude for mercies given, okay? David says, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such, there is no law. Thank you for sharing, bro. And let's keep reading. So he said, the antidotes begin in the etheric body, the mental body. The antidotes are the good humor, the good happiness, the good compassion, the good love, the good fairness and forgiveness. All of these things are the antidotes that would take away the sins of the whole world and the cancers lying deep in the psyche and then deep in the organs. Okay? Padmasambhava summarized all these antidotes in 2 words, giving and serving. He said, give new life to your body and your soul by freely giving what you have. Okay? This is what I'm doing every day. Okay? Your aura will thus mount and increase and intensify and spread and widen and become as powerful as the 7 seas. Okay? This is I'm reading it word for word, guys. Okay? Really let this sink in because this is very powerful. Okay? Very powerful. Again, he urged to go back to basics. Determine what is important to you from this day forward. I will tell you what my definition is of what is supremely important. It is that you satisfy the law of love, the law of wisdom, the law of the will of God. It is that you become a rock of refuge in the earth, caring not for the things of the self or the accumulation of the things of the self, but to perform your duties as best as possible, making use of the modern technologies and all you require to have your victory. Serve, beloved, for service is your liberation. Okay? Padmasambhava called us to be interpreters of the new teaching of Saint Germain and how it relates to the ancient teachings of Hinduism and Buddhism. Now is the hour when many souls can break the chain of rebirth and unite with God at the end of their lives in their ritual of ascension, but they need a spin. he said. And the spin they need is the violet spinning flame. I enjoin you then to unveil the sacred treasure. Reveal it, beloved, to all who will listen and learn to give the violet flame mantras. Let them know that the most sacred treasure of all is the violet flame crystal. Okay, the violet flame mantra, the violet flame blazing in their hearts, transmuting records of karma and cleaning all of life in answer to their calls. Now, it's interesting what they say here, guys. The Ascended Master El Morya, okay, if you've ever heard of this Ascended Master, tells us that Padmasambhava is a great devotee of Jesus Christ and Buddha. It's no wonder David is quoting scripture here, right, in this live, because seeking oneness with Jesus is important for all spiritual seekers, okay? And we can pursue that oneness through Padmasambhava, actually, okay? Some of you don't know that, but Padmasambhava has spoken of his role as one who can prepare to be initiated under Jesus Christ. He said, I have given you initiations of your Christhood. Do you think it odd that an Eastern guru should teach you, a Western chela, the path of Jesus Christ? I, for one, do not. For you see, through your training and initiations under me, I bring you along on the path of chelaship to the place where it would be unthinkable for you, under any circumstances, to be an offense to your Lord. Jesus said to his disciples, why call ye me Lord, Lord, and do not the things which I say? Okay? Many continue to cry, Lord, Lord, professing to love him, to know him, and to be Christian, but their actions belie their words. There is more to the disciple of a Christian than crying, Lord, 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 oh my Lord, oh Lord, 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 Lord. You must be able to continually keep the flame of your emerging Christhood and to live according to God's will. So call to me that you might be made whole at all levels of your being, so that in wholeness you may sit at the Lord's feet and neither offend him nor be offended by him. Okay? That's it. What a beautiful passage. I think this gives us such a tremendous next level, okay, for all of us. Now, of course, if you do want to check out some of the... One second. My bad, someone's calling me. Do check out some of the channelings of the different events. There have been a few times where I've channeled Padmasambhava as well. So you get to see and really get those downloads, those codes, those turtons, those termas, right? And really be able to transmute them, right? The teachings. And I'm really going further into the teachings more and more and more. Again, guys, let me just show you right here, okay? Real quick. I don't know why I had even had Jesus Christ next to Padmasambhava, you know? But now it makes a whole lot of sense, okay? Everything is making a whole lot of sense now. It's coming together. And I think this is powerful because this is, I understood why, like this energy just slices and dices away at evil. It's not scared of the evil. It's there to completely like, be like living water, like I just said, you know? Let me just see some of the stuff that David is writing. I am the way, the truth, yes, I know that one. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life. Absolutely. Absolutely. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but only the one who does the will of my Father who is in heaven. Correct. So, powerful, right? Now, I think it's also powerful that when we think of ourselves thriving in life, just having a joyous experience, you know, really flourishing, what do we imagine? We're being something. We're not thinking about being something, correct? So what if you close your eyes, you had that six-pack or that, you know, bank account or whatever you're looking for externally? You had it. What now? Does that fuel you still? If I met you as an old man, okay, 80 years old, and me and you met each other, right? Would you still hold on to your goals? Okay? Would you still hold on to your goals? Think about it, okay? Maybe social media would be different then. Who are you without social media? Okay? Who are you without all of these, different branded things? Really think about it, right? Boil it down to the precipice, the crystallization of you, the self, and loving that self, having the powerful self-concept, which you emanate with glory and truth and beauty and power, right? A personal power, not a power that's hierarchical, okay? So let's start to understand this differently, okay? Because these teachings are gonna slowly, I'm gonna let it marinate for you guys, okay? I'm gonna let it marinate. And I think as this is going on, you're gonna start to receive your own downloads from Padmasambhava. Remember, 33 times, Om Ahum Vajra Guru Padma Siddhi Hum. If you're facing any BS, suffering, nonsense in this life, low vibration and energy, lower vibration entities attacking you, all of this stuff, go listen to the Padmasambhava mantra, okay? Om Ahum Vajra Guru Pema Siddhi Hum. Okay, that's the version that's gonna tap you in, spike you in to the codes. Say it 33 times. You got this, we got this. You're gonna feel uplifted when you listen. It's almost like your heart has been powered up, like the Grinch, right? It's just growing 10 times its size, 5 times its size, right? That's what it feels like almost. It's like I have 1,000 arms, I have 100 hearts, I have an infinite amount of stamina again, right? Spiritual endurance, spiritual stamina as I listen to this. So tap in today, okay? Shout out to Padmasambhava, okay? One of my greatest mentors in this lifetime. I truly believe it. He is a king, he's a warrior, he's a magician and a lover. He embodies all of the masculine archetypes in one. Think about it, okay? Now be about it. You got this, we got this, Upward Spiral gang. May we never be the same again. Us. Have an incredible day, guys. Let's win. It's 2:11, so portal time. Us.